From architecture to painting and sculpture, literature to live music and theater, Radio 111 presents The Desert Scene, your connection to culture and entertainment in the desert cities. Here's Bonnie G.
And welcome to The Desert Scene. I'm your host, Bonnie G. And we're really happy to welcome to the show Adam Karsten, who is the artistic director at CV Rep. And they've got so many exciting things going on right now. Hi, Adam. How are you?
Hi, Bonnie. I'm well, thank you, and thank you for having me.
Sure. I'm sure you're busy. I have to start first, and I don't mean to sound like I'm pandering, but I have seen twice now, and I have to say, I reviewed it, and then I had to go buy tickets to take my partner Eric back because he's a professional musician. He's a violinist and a pianist. I said, you have to see the show. You have to see this show. So I took him and he loved it. And I just have to say, it's really one of the best things I have ever seen in the desert. And I don't say that lightly. So congratulations.
Well, thank you. That's very nice of you. And that's the beauty of that show. Is it's not a show that when you end up seeing it, that you have to see only once.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It is something that's different from your typical theatrical performance, especially when you think of musicals or talk about musicals, in that the artists, the actors performing on the stage, they're not just acting, singing, and moving and dancing. They are also playing instruments at a skill level that is extremely high.
Absolutely.
And that's what makes it quite unique. And when it's done, when you add all of the elements within the storyline, within the set, within the lighting, and within the concept that we put together for the show, it's intoxicating. It's mesmerizing. It's really a unique theatrical experience.
Absolutely. And that's when I came home after I saw the first time I was reviewing, and I said, Eric, you have to go. To find the quality of performers who are highly skilled actors, highly skilled singers, move well, and are professional musicians who are, that's hard to find. Was the casting process difficult to find people that are, I like to call them quadruple threats? They do it all?
Right. No, it was extremely difficult. And it was also difficult because one of the things that we really want to do with CV Rep and we really want to bring to the Valley is a quality and a level of quality that is exceptional, that is the highest.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, I don't know who was dumb enough to pick this show because that makes it near impossible. But
Yeah.
I take the blame for that. But it was also a challenge that I like to find myself facing. Those types of challenges are exciting. And going out and finding and meeting and collaborating and starting relationships with those types of artists is what we're all about and what we want to do. These are not relationships or artists that I want to bring in for one show. They're ones that I want to talk about. Hey, we're doing this. We're starting a new works program. Do you have anything that involves doing what you do at the level that you do it? We want to create with you. We want to collaborate with you. We want to be able to invite you back.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, these are long-term relationships. So it's always a good investment. Wherever they're coming from, to find them and introduce them to the Valley and what we're doing here and the work that's being done here and the culture that exists here.
And the one of the things that, there's so many things that are fabulous about the show, but and Eric agreed with me, the seamlessness. I know part of it is the way the show is written, but obviously the director, and I know you directed this, has just the seamlessness and the flow from one scene to the next, and the music, and it was just, the flow is one of the things that really stands out.
And that's what I think makes so many musicals really great. My wife happens to be a choreographer, and she spends a lot of time on transitions and designing and orchestrating, choreographing transitions. So as much as I want to take all the credit for things, I can't. She'll come in a rehearsal and say, well, wait a minute, this is coming from this thing you're going to hear. But the concept that we put together for the show allowed us to do that a little more easily, in that instead of placing it in a bar as it was originally done, we decided that they were buskers on Grafton Street. And we incorporated that from the minute you walked into the lobby all the way into the theater.
Right.
And that allowed them to follow a storyline of saying, oh, I'm coming from my shop down the street into her apartment. And it allowed the story to really flow and have them an understanding of, as Uta Hagen says, where you're coming from and where you're going to.
Right.
and I think that makes it's even to the point where several performances I'll notice that the audience doesn't applaud until the end of the show, because it flows so well in from one thing into the next, which I love, because then they don't break up the show. They're just engrossed and immersed in the story.
Yeah. Well, it just and I think your run's been extended, correct? On once. When do you close?
Yes, originally we were closing on the 5th, but we've extended it until March 11th. Okay. So there's another week of performances that people can catch the show.
And I strongly, strongly urge anyone who loves anything about theater music, you've got to go see the show once. It really is tremendous. Well, I want to talk about a couple other things as well. First of all, congratulations for being the relatively new artistic director at CV Rep. What was your vision when you took on this job? What was your vision for CV Rep's future?
I think that's the reason I took in the job, is the vision that I see and what I see the potential CV Rep having for a future, not just in restaging and re-envisioning and reimagining works like Once, but also the potential to create and discover new works. It has a great audience base that is very theater savvy, very theater knowledgeable.
Yep.
And it's got such an intimate setting where you immediately know an audience response to a subject matter or a piece of work, which allows it to have a platform for developing new works. So we're starting a new works program called Origins, where the bottom line is we're seeking to find the next Broadway show. Excellent. We're bringing the creatives, we're bringing the artists, we're bringing the writers, we're bringing everybody here for a week reading of new works, and then we're going to select one of those 4 to 6 new works each year and create them as part of the season and put the full production on. And I think there's excitement in that, not just from the Valley and what we can discover, but I think will expand past the Valley and even past Southern California. Excellent.
And I know that after Once, the next thing up is Hand to God, correct, on your season. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Hand to God is outrageously funny if you allow yourself to laugh. A play about a young man discovering himself and the nuances of coming to age, because he ends up having a puppet get stuck to his hand who he can't get off, and he has quite a few discussions, or you might say lively discussions, if not full-out arguments and war but it's also a wonderful story about youth and loneliness and love, kind of mixed up in this graphic, dark comedy.
And I know also a couple of things I want to talk to you about. You have a fundraising event, a gala, Puttin On the Glitz, Monday, March 13th at the Omni Rancho Las Palmas Resort. Tell us a little bit about that.
We're really excited about that. I'm excited about that. This is the first time I've done a fundraising event like that here in the desert. And the way I like to do things is we really kind of immerse the audience to say within the concept of the evening. And the concept of the evening is going to be the future of CV Rep. So we're not only going to be discovering and learning about some of the shows that we're considering for next season, we're going to be learning about the programs that we're going to start developing for the years to come. And that's going to be done through a number of performances scattered throughout the night. And it's at the beautiful Omni in Palm Desert. And it is an outdoor terrace, and it's going to be beautifully lit, and the meal is exquisite. I know because our development director, Anna Pfaff, brought home some samples. Okay, good. Or brought back to the office some samples. It's going to be a really nice night. And that for tickets on that, you can call 760-296-2966, extension 105. And also, let's talk. So, are you continuing the summer cabaret series this coming summer? Oh, we are. Yes. It's going to open headlining May 4th every Thursday with Melissa Errico, and we are in the process of lining up some great Broadway stars to come out and do cabarets once a week at the Playhouse throughout the summer. I'm excited about who's starting to get lined up for that summer. Yeah. It's going to be fun.
So you moved your family from, I think, New York, right, to take on this position. Has it been a little bit of a culture shock moving from New York to the Palm Springs area?
It has, but it's been a good one. I have to say, I have two children. One is 11 going on 6. The other's 12 going on 21. Okay. And those were the concerns. And after a little bit of an adjustment period, I think they can't imagine being anyplace else. And that's just been a blessing. So we're grateful and we're glad to be here.
Well, it's wonderful. Thank you so much, and congratulations on everything that's been happening at CVR. I mean, they had high quality stuff to begin with, but you've really are putting your own stamp on it. And I really, really encourage people, if you can, go see once. You've got to see the show. It's really fabulous. Adam, thank you so much. Welcome to the desert and continued success at CV Rep. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Bonnie. I appreciate you having me. I really do. Thank you.
You're most welcome. All right, and we'll talk to the rest of you the next time on The Desert Scene.